423-800-8949. You can also get us online at am1240hotnewstalkradio.com and on the TuneIn radio app for your smartphone. That's TuneIn on your smartphone. Just search for Hot News Talk Radio on TuneIn. I want to get into something, though, that's kind of, it's been scaring a lot of people. And I don't know why. It's the Internet of Things. All right. So we had a show a long time ago that we had ages ago that had this host who was really scared about the Internet of Things. And it was kind of funny. And the whole thing just, for some reason, flowed back into my mind not too long ago, where for some reason I just thought of this particular host who was really terrified about the Internet of Things was going to come get him and all this stuff. I thought it was really funny. And there's been a few articles now about the Internet of Things popping up, just a few articles here and there just recently, mostly because, holiday season's coming up and they want people to buy things. But still, I thought I'd get into it and what it is exactly. So the Internet of Things is a bunch of devices, right? Regular home appliances, which are connected to the Internet for reasons. So these are all going to be small embedded devices which probably run Linux, and they'll just do telemetry. They'll keep track of all sorts of different things. Basically, it's going to be weird for some appliances, and it's not going to be really that frightening. There's going to be market gathering from it, I'm sure, but there's better ways to track people. So let's put things into perspective, right? You probably have a smartphone, or you probably have a cell phone, period. If you have a cell phone, then you can be tracked and probably have been be tracked. It's hard to do with the proper tools, and any law enforcement office worth its salt has this particular device. So you can be tracked. So having Internet of Things, internet connected devices inside your house is not really going to make you any easier to track if you're already carrying around a smart device of some sort. It's not going to make you any easier to track. So what these things are going to do is, one possibility that I'm foreseeing anyway that actually could be kind of important is smoke detectors, actually, which are inside your house, right? Obviously, because they're smoke detectors, and they're internet connected, so that when they go off, should your smoke detector happen to go off, then perhaps they'll go off in neighboring houses, or an alert will be sent to your neighbor's smartphones, alerting them that there has been a smoke alarm inside your house, and then they can come and check up on you and see if you're all right. Of course, it could just be your teenage son who's smoking in his, his bedroom, which I think is just, people who smoke are just disgusting. But anyway, I think they're just disgusting, sick people. But no, there's lots of good uses for Internet of Things devices. They're just not really here right now. We're not really seeing a whole lot of Internet of Things devices currently on the market. Now, another one that I think is really great, this is my favorite one actually, is light bulbs that are connected to the Internet of Things. And you can actually buy these right now. In fact, I might be doing that pretty soon. Internet of Things, or internet connected light bulbs, are these light bulbs which are, you guessed it, connected to the internet, and they actually have an app which you can connect to these particular light bulbs and change the color. You can change what they do. You can have them pulse. You can have them be a strobe light, whatever. And also, they actually sell light bulbs which have speakers in them, so you can access them like a Bluetooth speaker, and you can play your music through light bulbs around your house. And I think it's a mesh limit of like 10 that you can have around your house. Now, they're not cheap. Individually, I think it's around $50 or so for ones that play music, but they do have ones that are around 20 or so that look like just little tea lights. The nice thing about the ones that just screw into a regular light socket is that you don't have to worry about running power to them or changing batteries out all the time, because they're just getting power from the light socket like they normally would. So that's one plus side to them. I really, really like the idea of devices like those, because it takes something that we already have in our house and makes it just that much more special and makes it that much more fun and customizable. It kind of turns our real life houses into highly customized houses that we're all kind of used to in video games. I get really excited about that idea. Another sort of similar idea is something that I'm also going to be doing in my house pretty soon, is I'm going to be changing out some of the outlets in my house and putting USB ports on them. They actually sell little, they're just regular wall sockets, but they have USB in between the two regular jacks, I guess, the two regular 110 volt inputs. So it's easy to do. Basically, you just buy one of the things and screw it in like you normally would. It's easy to put in. It's just that now you have USB added in, which I think is really nice functionality, especially if you have tablets and smartphones and things which need charging, it frees up different outlets. So instead of using up, say, an entire outlet for your phone charger, just buy a USB cable and you can charge from that straight from your wall socket. So that makes it a whole heck of a lot easier, especially if you have an Android device, because then you can just get a bunch of USB mini B plugs and you can just use that universally for like everything. If you have a Chromebook, which happens to also use the same plug, by the way, then you can use that to charge your laptop and your phone and your tablet and anything else that happens to use that particular USB jack. So USB is one of my favorite technologies. It's sometimes overlooked by people who are looking to get power, right? Like people for some reason tend to overlook USB as a viable power source for some reason, but no, USB is actually kind of great. But for some odd reason, it's often overlooked as a magnificent thing, which it really kind of is. It's one of the better inventions, I think, of the 20th century or 21st. No, 20th century. It was invented in the mid late 90s. I'm wanting to say is when USB started to come around. One of the new great technologies that's been coming out recently too is 3D printing, which has been making a pretty big boom in the new 21st century, which we happen to now live in. The whole idea of 3D printing is kind of a novel one. All you do is you put in a 3D model, and then this device will print out that model in the real world on resin. And that makes it sound a lot simpler than it actually is, but it is what it is. That's the most simple way to break it down. Now, 3D printers are more complex than that because you have ones that use resins, you have ones that use actually laser cutting, laser sintering, you have ones which can use glass, I'm pretty sure are coming out, and there are ones which fuse beads of polybutyl as well. So there's lots of different methods of 3D printing, but the basic idea is you input what's called a CAD file. It's a 3D model into this printer. You send it just like you'd send a text file to your regular 2D printer, but you send it to your 3D printer and then it will 3D print the model that you want. So really nice stuff, really cool. I'm really excited about 3D printing becoming a viable technology. I'm really excited about the future of 3D printing because it seems like 3D printing is not getting the recognition which it really deserves. So I pulled up a story here specifically for this reason about 3D printing because it's one of those technologies that for some reason is constantly overlooked. And I don't know why, because it's one of the more exciting things. Really, the only story I've seen recently about 3D printing has been about the guns which you can 3D print. And so far, as far as I know, there are two legally defined firearms which you can print out, and then there are two firearms accessories which you can print out on 3D printers. As far as I know, I'll give a rundown on those real quick. The one that everyone's worried about is the Liberty, which is a 3D printed, entirely plastic except for the firing pin gun, which shoots. I think there's options of caliber. I think 9mm is one of the more common ones, and I think 380. And I don't think there's 22 because rimfire would be a little bit harder to do. So those are the basic calibers, and it's just like a short 3-inch all plastic barrel. It's not going to be effective. There's no rifling. Obviously, you can't really do rifling on plastic with a lead ball. It's not going to work. So I don't know. It's not really that effective. I would count it as sort of a last ditch sort of weapon. And I would say it's even less effective than the actual Liberty gun, which we dropped in Europe in the 1940s during World War II. So yeah. The other one is the AR-15 lower, which everyone seems to be worried about. That's really the big one that everyone's worried about. The AR-15 lower that's 3D printed, which you can then turn into a fully fledged AR-15, right? Well, I don't know. It's sort of a complex situation because really the tolerances aren't really there for the AR-15 lower. Besides, nobody's going to want to 3D print an AR-15 machine gun because that's not very efficient. It's hard to shoot one anyway, so you just wouldn't want one. And anyone who would take the time and use the skill to 3D print an AR-15 lower can just go and buy a regular AR-15 lower for much less money than it would take to 3D print one. So yeah, those are the ones that everyone's worried about. The components are AK-47 magazines can be 3D printed, and I believe Stanag magazines can also be printed, although I'm not certain about that. I'm pretty sure they can be. So it's really not as big a threat. In fact, I would say it's not even a threat. People get worried about things that they really shouldn't be, but that's just life. Now, 3D printing is a very positive technology, though, and I want to give sort of a rundown about it because not a whole lot of people talk about it, oddly enough. Not a whole lot of news organizations or even some tech shows will really get into 3D printing and the marvel that it is. So I want to give a rundown on it. Okay, so 3D printing has two names, 3D printing and additive manufacturing. Now, additive manufacturing is just the idea that you're essentially using a additive to manufacture. It's the name is what it is. You're using a resin or a filament in order to manufacture something. So it's an additive, which is then manufacturing, additive manufacturing, simple stuff. And then 3D printing, which is the simpler way to do it because there's additive manufacturing and then there's laser sintering and just call it 3D printing. So the 3D printing, which we all know and love, really has been around since the mid-90s, believe it or not.
Featuring these experienced, compassionate...
It might even be older than I am, 3D printing. I'm not certain. I'll have to look up on that, but it might actually be older than I am. That form of 3D printing has long since become outdated, and now we're using a more modern form.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Lay your burdens down at the Woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming lives.
Happy holidays
At the Woodhouse.
from the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
Sky Aerial Services uses advanced drone technology to give you a better perspective and depth of your property and project. We offer aerial photography and video for your business, farm, home, or advertising campaigns, as well as editing services to complete the experience. Call us at 423-521-0284 and see how we can help you tell your story about your business, property, or project. We work with real estate professionals, both commercial and residential, developers, engineer inspectors, surveyors, ad agencies, auto and boat dealers, mapping services, insurance inspectors, corporate marketing, charity events, weddings, and photographers. Our consultation is free. Call 423-521-0284. That's 423-521-0284, or visit our website, skyaerialservices.com. Sky Aerial Services. The sky is our limit.
Hi, I'm David Tulis, inviting you to make the move with me 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. The David Tulis Show, featuring Nooganomics.com for Chattanooga and beyond. 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Mike Gallagher.
Education shapes the minds of students. It provides not only knowledge, but helps mold their character, which is why students need to be taught from a biblical worldview. As a parent, you want a program that's academically challenging and one that also teaches moral values. Secular world education is taught from a humanistic worldview with no moral absolutes. The Christian worldview shines through in every BJU Press product, enabling students to see God's hand in every subject. BJU Press textbooks are strong academically, and they exceed all national standards. Rather than just memorizing facts, dates, and formulas, students are also challenged to think critically about the subject and how to apply it to their everyday lives. BJU Press homeschool curriculum is available in streaming online content, on DVDs, or external hard drive, and curriculum specialists are available to answer all your homeschool questions and help you put together a customized program to suit your needs. To learn more about BJU Press textbooks for homeschoolers, visit www.bjupresshomeschool.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-651-4888. That's 800-651-4888. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis right now. Call 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visitingangels.com.
Mike Gallagher.
I'm going to thank Justin and Lance for doing such a fantastic job. Eric is off today. When I sit in for Mike Gallagher, it's like I never get up from this chair. It's fantastic. This hour of the Mike Gallagher Show brought to you by Staples. Staples has more for less on everything your business needs to make more happen every day. Plus, free shipping. Staples, make more happen. All right, we're talking about this president, and if you actually believe that he believes that global warming, a global warming conference is going to scare off the terrorists, or if you like Donald Trump's approach to it, whether you think there's substance or not, even if he's all show, is it better than what we're getting from the Oval Office right now? Let's say hello to Rich. You're up next on the Mike Gallagher Show. Hi, Rich.
Hey, how are you this morning? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Let me preface this statement that I've worked in many Muslim countries throughout the world, and I have good Muslim friends throughout.
Yeah.
However, with the president to say that my SUV is more of a security problem to the United States than ISIS is absolutely ridiculous.
Do you know anybody in your list of friends or connections in this country or people you play cards with or golf with? Do you know anybody who has said to you when you go to breakfast with them or dinner with them, gee, I'm sure worried about this climate?
I know of no one.
But in that same group of people in your same circle or sphere of influence, how many people have said, man, those terrorists, what are they going to pull next?
Absolutely every one of them. And we need to call them what they are. They are Islamic extremists. And like I said, it's not the entire religion. However, it is these guys. And the only way to take care of this issue is boots on the ground and bomb them.
I understand. And there are many who share that view with you. Dean, thanks for calling the Mike Gallagher Show. I'm Mike Sintel. Welcome.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I just got a quick comment. I just wanted to say I'm embarrassed by the current bench warmer that we have in our White House. I'm tired of being a laughingstock to the world. And he's a joke. I mean, he really is. He's just a total joke. And I'm just totally amazed by our fellow Americans that are just mindless sheep that keep following his mindset.
I said earlier, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, I had some people send me Twitters that were critical of me saying that, but I really believe that if he were running for re-election right now, that there are enough ignorant voters out there surrounding me that they would put him back in office.
Well, I know there's a lot of them that I'm sure would still vote for him, and I know a few personally that would, and I'm just astounded and amazed, and I'm embarrassed of my fellow Americans, to be honest with you, to support such a party.
Listen, I absolutely understand and agree with you. Thanks very much for calling. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. I'm Mike Cento. My son's name is Zach, too. Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to make a quick point. I'm very middle of the road, so I'm not like playing one side or the other for the most part. But while President Obama might not be saying like we're going to bomb into the